NPP as a political party sesi a omoni abriye pa omo eye omo internal politics na omo ani suade hunu nyina ene se omo beyi nipa baako na 2028 wetumi awene elections e de ama NPP na omo asan aba aban mu biem na se saa ani suade hunu no ebetumi aba mu a egina nkomo amene wo eba bedi eso omo se the way omo eye omo internal politics no e de ntokọ bebre aba eno ena journalist bobisa Musah Danquah say una uye poster ugidi ye pa say after their primaries no there is going to be unity and I say peace send ye beye a omobetumi aye baako no mo anwene 2028 elections na ena Musah Danquah say wey eye madwuma na madi saa adwuma no na emom de nkrofo binom ka no eno ena mene Ghana fo eche nua video no wo ho mena obekwa kohwe na ansa na ye bekọ saa video no so no ye papa bi nso wodi nkomo bi wasi ohwe other aspirants na omuka Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho na 2024 omu nyina akogina campaign platform so campaign ma Bawumia omu bona baso omu kan say de bibia eye kama eti omu di ne ho danse yi but se makwa abato no na se modusu a sisi ye de Bawumia na mo kanfo no aba beye bonsam de amamo ana menye papa na sem enka yenko na yenko hwe video na yenti asem papa no waka ba me di asem na waka na begidi say nyansa bi ewom because nkrofo enanya eka Bawumia ho emomoye enum no ohwe brana chiampon Kennedy Japan ose ya adutwum kwabena agye Japan omu nyina ekamfo Bawumia say yemfa Ghana man no enhye Bawumia nsa na obetumi de Ghana akobosha asase no so but Bawumia ko ya wolusu ya no sisi ye die abadane obi a oye mutamfo abadane obi a sabi oye incompetent enso 2024 mu na mo bona baso edie ene sesan ye yenko na yenko hwe video no na ye wi akọ comment section ho se de papa no all ka no wode no eya adwen na se wode no enya adwen e wi ye de Musah Danquah de no so ebetoa so ede amamo na ansa na ebe hwe video no menua besrew unya en subscribe ya subscribe na like video wi so for mame na emwa na bibi biara enye kama nyankopon hira se wa yesa ye hwe video no emra ye koba ye betoa so me da was.
Let me tell you something, and I find it very hypocritical. Just a couple of months ago, Dr. Bawumia was a demigod. Just a couple of months ago. Sani Panumi Omo contesting, all of them saw the good things in Dr. Bawumia. Just a couple of months. Yes, just a couple of months ago. Thank you very much. So what changed? What changed? Yakwa Batu. Yalusu. And when you be and suddenly Dr. Bawumia has become the biggest evil, the biggest Satan that we've ever seen on the face of the earth. I don't accept it. And yes, sir, me won't me a true anamonsa. Why need no crime, me? Pacha what must say? Why need no crime, me? Because just a couple of months ago, who can sempa at the chair me for papa no, afraid your papa na be bonsa. I don't believe it. I don't do that. Me yes, sir. And I tell you, a nipa num no mo bani nyina a fine gentleman. Sabe meni ebi at ye adwuma e wo national security. Meni ebi atna parliament, meni ebi adada baako. I'm telling you, ya dada baako. Akufo-Addo campaign ni ye Brian Champon, mene no ne Martin James aye dada baako. Mabubodin e di akyerɛw. Sabe masane na atna parliament, mene no wo committee so your friend is saying omo maka ken ye reducho you know mo nyina I atna parliament kwabna de maka chiro so emi busuani enti sabe I have a fair idea they are all fine gentlemen omo ye MPP for but baby ayedri me gidie e kire me say Bawumia stands tall among all of them.
The issue of unity and division, did you pick anything along the line in terms of the polls that you have put together?
Yes, we did. If you look at that, I just published something in the last 15-20 minutes. If you look at the response of delegates, they are quite confident that MPP will be united come 2028. About 86% of MPP delegates are optimistic that there will be unity after the primaries. But 6% are not that optimistic, and 8% have no opinion. Now, if you look at the details of those who say that, oh, yes, there will be unity, who are they voting for? 45% of those who say yes, there will be unity are voting for Bawumia. 19% for Kennedy, 4% for Brian Achampon, 1% Bichum, 1% for Japan, undisclosed 16%, and undecided 14. So it's almost mirror the main race. However, when it comes to those who are saying that no, there's no unity, 41% are voting for Bawumia. But here, a lot more of those who are saying no are voting for Kennedy. 23%. 7% Brian Champon. 3% Educhum. 4% Kopna Japan. 9% undisclosed. And 13% are saying they are undecided. So if you look at the data, insightfully, it appears undisclosed guys are not very sure that they will be unity. There is a higher proportion of them who are saying they will not be unity. And again, those who are voting for Kennedy, about 23% are saying they will not be unity. So you could see from the data that it is Kennedy guys who are having worry that there will not be unity at the end of the primaries.
So Chief, my inference from that is that if Kennedy do not win in this primary, there's a probability that there may be further degeneration of the party compared to Bawumia winning.
Yes.
Bawumia not winning.
Yes. Yes.
Now, okay.
If you go back, let me link this question response to what we did in the general voter sentiment. When you look at people who are voting for Kennedy in the primaries and how they want to vote in the general election against NDC candidates, you see a lot more Ken voters voting for NDC candidates against MPP candidates.
Now, my question to you is also, my next question to you is about, for me, when he sent me the poll, I think 3 days ago, when I was going through it, one thing that kept jumping to me was how the MPP delegate structure is. It seems as if the structure of the party, which determines the leadership of the party, is vastly different from what the party is known outside the MPP. As a poster, as an analyst, looking at the data, beyond these Kennedy Bawumia primaries, what do you think the MPP should do so that they have that unison when it comes to the identity outside the party and what really the structure of the party is?
It must start with a delegate, the grassroots election. They must appeal to younger people to be part of the delegate. You know, when you give the form to chairman, and chairman goes to a village and gather his people, and people who are educated, well and lead, that can be on the form, on the register, don't get the form to fill and contest. This is what you have. It is the product of manipulation of delegate album that has given what we have seen today. Now, if MPP really needs to come out of this difficulty, they must and they should ensure that the structure of the delegate reflects that of the population, both in age and in education. At the moment, the country is highly educated. MPP delegates are poorly educated. At the moment, the country is younger. MPP is older. That is the problem. There is a misalignment between MPP delegates and the national character when it comes to voters.
For me, my last question is this. Some argue that when you look at the 5 candidates, they argue that, if, for example, if the Kennedy Japan should convince Brian to step down and form a pair, Bawumia will lose. You have the numbers, you polled, you have the experience. Is that possible?
Look, at the moment, it appears that Brian's rise in the numbers largely isn't coming from Bawumia. So when Brian and Coke leave the race and consolidate, their numbers will just go to Kennedy. But what they need to do first is to drag Bawumia down. If say Brian, Educhum, Kopna Japan are getting their numbers from Bawumia and they add that number to Kennedy, then that is a very good position to be in. At the moment, they are taking Ken's number, so they can just make Ken look better. But overall, again, he's still struggling. Because if you add all the numbers, Ken, Brian, and Co together, they are still below Bawumia's numbers. And that's the reality of today's MPP delegate race.
Based on the response you just gave, do you envisage any major shift between now and, let's say, the 31st of January 2026 that can maybe cause an upset?
No, I mean, it is worrying also to notice that Bawumia's numbers are declining. So if I was him, I would also be worried, regardless of the fact that I'm leading the race. What is working for him, I mean, his luck is that those numbers he's losing is not going to his opponent.
So is it enough to cause an upset? And what is causing the decline?
No, people sometimes, over time, campaign, doubts, thinking, considering, looking at the candidates both and weighing what options. And in doing so, they are also looking at potentially what NDC is going to bring. So delegates are going through trauma to see who is the best to bring against NDC candidates. So all those things will feature, but we haven't done work to really understand what is going through their head. Maybe somebody else will do that.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Look, we can only do so much.
but as we conclude, should we expect more polls, from you before January 31st, 2026? And if so, when? Because you've done this is the third one. When is the next one coming?
We promise to do it monthly. So there'll be one in November, around the same time in November, and also December around this time. And the last one would be probably third week of January, just a week before the MPP primary. So there'll be 3 more coming.
And if you don't mind my asking this question, there are a few people who have raised concerns or critiqued the work you do, including one Dr. Razak. How do you take such critiques?
Oh, for us, it is motivation for us to get things right. Because the more you criticize us, the more we prove you wrong. So we're not bending down the rules. We don't lower our standards. We are really, really working hard to ensure that, look, we get things right. I mean, for me, the only thing that matters is the end result. Did we get it right? And we always question it right.
Well, at this point in time, I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Musah Danquah, for spending time with us. And then we're looking forward to the next, polls that you'll be doing.
To Kumasi.
He's coming to Kumasi.
Tell him to come to Kumasi.
So
he always stays in Accra. He comes to Kumasi.
When was the last time you visited Kumasi?
Oh, I came to Kumasi about 2 months ago for an Islamic program.
Okay.
So when next do you have intentions or plans to come?
Unless you invite me, I really don't have much to do in Ashanti region. Me, I'm a crab boy.
You are a big man. If you want to invite you, your plane tickets, your hotel.
Kumasi wife. Kumasi wife. Chief, thank you.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Yen papa na edi kan ehwe ni video no akasa yie pa because sankrofo enen omo anu be gina campaign platform so edi ba omi ho adanse na semone no kwa akansi asisi ya de ba omi ana mudi no adanse no onye ni papa biem but we dey politics sebe omo so epesa akwanya no enti o be gina platform so enkamfo sede first no na wo ye kandini ema NPP political party no to mo gidi se samna no so no atwam sisi ya no obia prenity enti each one for himself. Sisi ya desa ena akwakoba ena ye papa Musah Danquah so ya de wadi nkomo bebre enti NPP supporters omo de omo hwehwa eni say after elections no unity and I say peace will reign in the party say de be ya 2028 omo ebebo omo homode na say peace beba o emma ejina omo so we are just observers de bekoso bia eye no ye beba omo ba so de enye no so no we are going to bash them say de be ya Ghana man ye be fa yentuma pa edi efra ye ndi aka say neutral it will be a way papa no ye be kamfo no de oye ade a enye nso no ye be ma no hu say de oye no enye na boa ama bibi biara aye kama e wo Ghana memu ha binua ma memfa wo ensi na ansa na ye be ko no nya subscribe ya mesrew subscribe na video we so like fa mama na emwa na bibi biara ye kama be da wase me no wo ebe hie bi sisi ye de makra bye bye.